Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm J-Bug Jimmies, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Pokemon Blue Glitch Guide. In the last episode, we were going through the steps in order to implement the trainer escape glitch. In this episode, I'd like it to be more of a showcase of the glitch Pokemon you can find through this glitch. Now, there are actually a whopping 105 glitch Pokemon in red and blue, which is kind of crazy. As we all know, of course, there are 150 valid Pokemon, but the species index numbers are stored on 8 bits for those valid Pokemon, which means there are actually 255 values in the game possible for Pokemon species. And 255 minus 150 is of course, a 105, so that's where those glitch Pokemon actually come from, these leftover slots. Let me say the state real quick, just in case I screw up the trick. Every once in a while I do, but after you practice for a long time, it gets pretty easy. So that's where those leftover slots come from, and that's how we end up with 105 glitch Pokemon. Now, 39 of those glitch Pokemon are the infamous Missing No, which I'm sure most of us by now have heard of, but their index numbers, in case you haven't heard of Missing No, these are Pokemon slots that are sandwiched in between valid Pokemon index numbers. And a lot of the information for Missing No is just information that looks like it's been dummied out by the programmers, including the name Missing No, which means missing number. So a lot of the information's just dummied out, and some of it is just garbage data as well. But of course, Missing No is believed to be empty slots for Pokemon that were originally going to have Pokemon planned for them, but they were scrapped and saved for the next generation of games. We're not going to talk about Missing No today, though. We're actually going to focus on... I might have to switch over to the other Pokemon in my party, because Jax is a bit weak here. We're actually going to focus on some of the other glitch Pokemon besides Missing No. Some people believe that Missing No is the only kind of glitch Pokemon you'll find in this game, but that's a misnomer. That's not actually true. Missing No only accounts for 39 of the glitch Pokemon in these games. There's still 66 other glitch Pokemon, and they occupy the index numbers past the last valid Pokemon slot, which is 190 hexadecimal BE, which is Victory Bell. So basically, slots 191 through 255 are all the other glitch Pokemon besides Missing No. Now, unfortunately for us, the trainer escape glitch can't actually give us access to all 105 glitch Pokemon. Instead, we can actually only summon index numbers 191 through 199. So that's 9 glitch Pokemon in total that we can get through this glitch, besides Missing No, of course. And the reason for this is once we reach index number 200, we start to encounter trainers instead with the trainer escape glitch, both valid and glitch trainers. And that's because these trainers share the index slots with these glitch Pokemon. If you've ever tried using the Game Shark code before, the standard one that forces a Pokemon encounter to be a certain index number, then you'll notice that you also end up with the same issue. Oh boy, we got poison, so that's going to be fun to wait through. Try to ignore the annoying poison thing. So yeah, the Game Shark code also gives you the trainers instead of... Well, great, we got Ditto right away. We don't have to worry about it. Gives you trainers instead of the other glitch Pokemon. Now, we're going to be using Mew today for the Ditto Trick, because he has a special stat at the moment of 191, and that's what we want for the first Pokemon we're going to check out today. So anyway, as I was saying, all that aside, it's a shame we can't reach every single glitch Pokemon with this trick, but we can still reach 9 different glitch Pokemon besides Missing No with this trick, which is really cool. So we're going to do that today. We're going to take a closer look at all 9 of these glitch Pokemon, and that should be really fun. So now that we've gone through those steps, okay, we're going to actually heal up real quick. Okay. Poison. Should carry around some antidotes is what I should do. Okay, so we're going to hop up here now and take a look at what we got. This will be our first glitch Pokemon for the evening. And here we go. So that's his cry. I really like his cry. This is our first glitch Pokemon. I like to call him Arrow A. And he's a fun little guy. Play around with him a little maybe before we capture him. See if he throws any moves at us. So he's got Payday. Attack not hitting us very hard, obviously, but okay. So I have a nice stack of Master Balls right here that I prepared earlier, so we're just gonna use that to grab him. Arrow A was caught. And these glitch Pokemon do have Pokedex entries. Mind you, they're glitchy Pokedex entries, and they often don't say anything, or they'll just say garbage, but still, it's kind of neat. And you can see his Pokedex number is 250, which is pretty cool. And 20 feet high, 880 pounds. He's a pretty hefty boy. And this is something we run into. Sort of a wrinkle in trying to get these glitch Pokemon. This is the Rhydon glitch. And it affects pretty much all invalid Pokemon when you're trying to capture them in the wild, because there's a subroutine in the game that converts invalid Pokemon into Rhydon, basically. And there's 2 ways around this. We can have a full Pokemon party when we capture them, and we'll send it to the PC, and then we visit the daycare center real quick to basically get him back to normal. Or we just capture the same Pokemon twice. So the first time through, he's going to be converted to Rhydon, but then the next time through, we're going to end up getting the full, unmessed up glitch Pokemon, just his whole natural form. So that's actually what I'm going to prefer doing. I'm going to go through all these steps again, just repeat everything exactly the same. And I will cut away and go back. I will be back in a moment when we have him again. So be right back. And here we are with take 2. Let's try capturing him again. Let's see if we actually get him this time. Got a Master Ball. Here we go. And I'm not going to give him a nickname. Now you notice this time the Pokedex entry did not pop up because this is the second time we captured him. And that's why the Rhydon glitch is not occurring. So let's take a look at him. And you can see he has a very lovely looking sprite here, which is this guy. And here we are. Here is Arrow A in all his glory. You'll notice he's type normal, so he's a dual normal type. I think actually one of those normals is not a real normal type being. It's like a pseudo-normal. It's a glitch type, basically. But I believe the other normal is actual normal, so he will get stab on normal moves. And his stats are not exactly stellar. He's got pretty awful attack, and his HP is not that great. His special is lousy. His defense not great either. But he's got really good speed, so he's got that going for him at least. And let's take a look here. Looks like he has no moves. Truth is, he actually does have moves, but the problem is his first move just so happens to be an empty slot. And when you have that kind of situation where you have an empty slot acting as a move, it actually becomes its own glitch move, and we sometimes call it the Cool Trainer move, because if you hover your cursor over it, it says it's Cool Trainer type move, which is really interesting. So I can actually take him into battle and show you that real quick. But before I do, I'm gonna save a state. Because this, well, this has some interesting effects, you'll see. In a minute, we'll just run over to this grass real quick and take Arrow A into battle. Looking for any Pokemon. And yeah, another effect of playing around with glitch Pokemon is you will get minor sprite glitches. So obviously red sprite here, or blue I guess in this case, his sprite is a little garbled. And you'll notice Rattata's sprite is inverted. He's actually facing the opposite direction he normally does. So that's just a minor issue. It's inverted sprites. There's a way of fixing that. You just go to your Pokedex and you look at any Pokemon in your Pokedex, and that'll fix the inverted sprites real quick. Anyway, this is Arrow A. He has a pretty cool looking back sprite. And this is Cool Trainer. So we're hovering over the empty move slot, and it says type Cool Trainer, and it's got 0 PP out of 13. And the funny thing about Cool Trainer is, in order to get a weird effect, you don't even have to use it. You can just hover your mouse over it and play around, like attempt to use it. And once you back out of the battle menu, weird stuff can happen. But sometimes it takes some scrolling around and noodling around with it before it actually gives you the weird Cool Trainer effect. It's a very strange move because sometimes it cooperates and other times it doesn't at all. So it's very odd. So I'm just scrolling around and seeing if I can get it to do something for me. It is not acting very volatile right now. Interesting. We'll try one more time to see if we can get the weird effects that I was referring to. If not, we can always do it later. Because I intend to eventually do an episode centered around the Cool Trainer move. It's just Cool Trainer. It's funny because it's one of those few glitches that has not cooperated at all for me when other people report the cool tricks they've done with it. Cool tricks, yeah. I haven't been able to reproduce it for some reason. And I don't know why that is. It is not giving us the TM trainer effects today. Well, we'll come back to that at some later point. What I want to show you is that Arrow A actually does have other moves. Cool Trainer is just his first slot. So we're just going to teach him a TM to fill up that empty slot real quick. And we'll just teach him Bite and go back into battle. Oh, I forgot to fix the sprites. I love his battle cry. It's very nice. And as you can see, these are the other moves that were hiding below the Cool Trainer move. He's got Guillotine, Razor Wind, and Payday as his starting moves. There you go. And obviously his attack is really atrocious. And his defense is really atrocious, so he's not the greatest Pokemon to use for... Oh man, Rattata, your sprite. You feeling alright there, Rattata? Rattata doesn't feel so good. Yeah, so obviously I'm not going to win this fight against this guy. Whoops. So yeah, because he's a glitch Pokemon, he gets all of his data from garbage data, including his stats data. So you'll get stat variations that are really wild and extreme, like you wouldn't normally get with regular Pokemon. So sometimes you get stats that are insanely high or incredibly terrible. So you'll see a huge variation with glitch Pokemon. And in this case, Arrow A is just... he doesn't have the greatest stats, unfortunately. He was only blessed with speed. Okay, but that was Arrow A. I just wanted to look at him real quick. We're going to move on to the next Pokemon now. We'll be following the same exact procedure as we did before with the trainer escape glitch. But we gotta first adjust Mew's special stat, because as you can see, he's got a special 191, and that's for catching arrow A. But we want to get the next one on the list now, which is 192. Now, how can we go about doing this? Because if I give him a rare candy, it's probably going to jump higher than 191. Save state real quick. Like, if I grab a rare candy out of my bag, like, here, Mew, have some candy. It jumps to 193, and then we've overshot, so that's really frustrating. And the way we deal with this is another little handy trick, which is the box trick. So what I'm going to do to start off is just fight a couple Pokemon with my Mew, which will be an easy KO for Mew, being level 81. And I'll grab one more for good measure. I'm just ballparking. I'm sure there's a way to figure out exactly how many you need here, but I'm just gonna ballpark it, because that's what I usually do. Wipe out the Spearow, and hopefully that'll be good. And now that we've done that, we've gathered a little bit of extra XP for Mew. Obviously not enough for him to level up, but he's gained a little bit of extra XP. Now we're going to deposit Mew into the PC. And we're going to take him out right away. Let's take a look. Hopefully. Here we go. Now he's got a special 192 instead of 191. How the heck did that happen? Well, the game doesn't actually store the solid numbers for all the stats of your Pokemon. What it does instead is keep track of how much stat experience the Pokemon has earned. And it recalculates those stats every single time you withdraw it from the box. So because I fought those extra couple Pokemon, he got a little more experience in the special, and it was enough to bump it over in the recalculation to bump up his special a little bit higher, which is nice because that means we have a little finer manipulation with the special stat than if we were to try and rare candy him or give him a calcium. It gives us a little more control. So, now that we've done that, I'm going to go repeat the steps for the trainer escape glitch, and I'll cut back again once we run into our next Pokemon. Be right back. Okay, so next up we have Pokemon index number 192, or hexadecimal C0. So here we go. And this is Little A. And an interesting thing about him is his name is got a lot of spaces in it. It's pretty much just this A right here, followed by a ton of spaces, so I actually have to hit the A button a lot of times just to scroll through his name. It's like 3 button presses just to get through. I'm gonna play the flute just to waste a turn and see what he does on us. And he's got Water Gun. Doesn't do much to Snorlax, obviously. Oh man, that's a lot of button presses. So we're not going to play around with him anymore, because it's a pain with his name, so I'm just going to capture him. And we got him! Here's his Pokedex. You'll notice he is Pokedex number 61, which is, if you know your Pokemon, a Poliwhirl. That's Poliwhirl's Pokedex number. We are going to nickname this one, simply because his name is so obnoxious the way it is right now. So I'm just going to call him Little A. Oops. There we go. And there we go. For some reason, Ride-On glitch doesn't happen with this guy when you get him for the first time, I believe. It has to do with him sharing his flag with Poliwhirl. And here he is. So this is Little A. He's got a cute little sprite. And as I mentioned before, he's got the same Pokedex number as Poliwhirl, which makes him what we call a hybrid. So he's a Poliwhirl hybrid. Now, a hybrid glitch Pokemon shares some of its traits with the legitimate valid Pokemon it shares its index number with. So in this case, he's a Poliwhirl hybrid, which means he will share the starting moves with Poliwhirl, and he will also share the base stats, the typing, so water type, and the Pokedex number, as well as the TM HM Learn set and the color palette if you're on Color Game Boy. So he shares all those things in common with Poliwhirl. As you can see, well, because of his long species name, we can only see his first move, Bubble, but when we take him into battle, we can see his full move set. Starting move set will be the same as Poliwhirl's. So let's go do that now. Now, because he shares so much with Poliwhirl, you might ask, well, is he just a Poliwhirl with a glitchy sprite? And he is actually his own unique Pokemon. He isn't just a Poliwhirl. He has his own unique index number, which makes him a unique species. But he also has his own moves upon level up. So as this guy levels up, he'll learn moves that a Poliwhirl cannot learn. And he has different evolution data as well, and a different cry, so he is his own species. And as you can see here, he starts off with Bubble, Hypnosis, and Water Gun. And we're not going to just slog through that entire battle, I just wanted to show real quick. But something I can show you is, if I hop into my bag real quick and give this guy a rare candy, I believe he learns something at level 8. He learns Horn Drill at level 8, which is not a Poliwhirl move. So already right away you can tell that there are some important differences. Yep, there it is. One hit KO. Gotta love those moves. Which means he's got decent speed since he was able to successfully use the Horn Drill. But he's got Poliwhirl's stats, so they're pretty balanced stats because they're actual real stats that programmers actually put into the game for the Pokemon. Well, let's see if we can find any more moves with this guy. Here we go. Here's a glitch move that he wants to learn. So a lot of the glitch moves that glitch Pokemon learn are take the names of the TMs. So you see TM5, TM17, TM50. That's just because they're borrowing the data from somewhere that they're not supposed to. Let's get rid of Water Gun. Let's take a look at, let's save the state real quick. Oh, because whenever you're playing around with glitch moves, it's very unpredictable what will happen. There's plenty of them that will crash the game, so it's always good to save your game before you mess around with it. It's TM50, which is type bleh. Now, the thing with a lot of these glitch moves is they have terrible accuracy, because again, these glitch moves are taking data that normally isn't meant for a move and reading that as data. So it ends up being these really weird numbers you normally wouldn't get with a Pokemon move, so it may have terrible accuracy as a result. But there's a solution for that. And that's if you go on down to the mart and pick up yourself some X accuracies. And it can help us play around with some of these moves. I'm probably going to need more than one. Oh, no, that was enough. Interesting. So it's a multiple hitting move. And it has... Is that like drill peck? Looks like a drill peck animation, I think. I wonder if it always hits twice or if it hits more times. I'm curious. It's so strong that I can't tell. We'll get it. Every single time we have to use that X accuracy though. Because the accuracy is atrocious. Yeah, it hits more than 2 times. Well, that's pretty cool. I like TM50. And we got a level up off of that. Okay, cool. So that was just... Whoops. Running into more guys. That was a little A. And now we're going to move on to the next Pokemon. I want to make sure that you guys get to see a little bit of each of these guys. So that's why I'm moving through at a fairly brisk pace. So I will cut back in once I set up 193. Be right back. Alright, so we got our Mew to his special up to 193. And I did the Trainer Escape glitch. So we're now all set to meet glitch Pokemon 193 or hexadecimal C1. Here we go. And we get an unknown opcode. In fact, we'll always get that with this particular glitch Pokemon. Unfortunately, he always crashes the game. I believe his front sprite is to blame. The game attempts to load his front sprite, and that's what crashes it. Sadly, we cannot see this particular glitch Pokemon with the Mew trick. There are some glitches that I'll be able to show you in the future where we will have access to 193, but we'll have to revisit him at a much later date. For now, we're going to move on to the next one on the list. But I'm going to stop the episode here because we've been going for quite a while, and we'll pick up where we left off next time and look at the rest of the glitch Pokemon you can find with the Trainer Escape glitch. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.